Hello everyone. So in this lecture we will discuss about aggregate functions in SQL. Aggregate functions, these are used to summarize the information from multiple tables. Okay, if you want to get a summary information in a single tuple, then we can use the aggregate functions. And grouping can be applied to create subgroups of tuples before summarizing. Like for each department you want to find out what is the maximum salary. So that kind of things you are applying on a particular group. Okay, so in that case you will use grouping. Now there are different built-in aggregate functions such as count, sum, max, minimum, then average. Okay, so these are the built-in aggregate functions. These functions can be used in the select clause, or you can use these functions in having clause. Now here we'll see the example where you want to find out what is the total salary and then maximum, minimum and average salary of employees in the employee relation. Okay, so we'll use to find the total salary, we'll use the function sum. So select sum of salary. So here you have to specify on which attribute you are performing the aggregate function. So we are checking, or we are finding what is the total salary. So sum of salary. Then maximum, you need to find out what is the maximum. So use MAX, that is the function name. Okay, so maximum salary, minimum salary, average salary from employee relation. Okay, and suppose if you execute this query in your console, then it will show you the column header as sum, within bracket it will show salary. Now you want to rename, or you want to give some other name to this column, then you can use that using the aliasing or renaming. Okay, here sum of salary is renamed as total salary. Okay, and maximum as highest salary, lowest salary, average salary from employee relation. So when you execute this, instead of displaying sum of salary or max of salary as the column header, it will show the total underscore sal, or highest salary, lowest salary. Okay, so like this it will be renamed with the names whatever you specify in the aliasing, okay, in the select clause. Now next we'll see, suppose you want to find out the maximum salary or all these functions uh, for a particular department. Okay, here instead of taking for the entire relation, we want to find out what is the total salary or maximum, minimum, average salary of employees in research department. So if I take only employee relation, I have the department number, but research is the department name. To get that, I have to use department table. Okay, that means two tables we have to take in the from clause, employee and department. So what we will do, we will join these two tables based on department number attribute. So you can see here in the from clause, we write employee join department on D number. This is one of the attribute in your employee relation. So D number equal to department number attribute of the department relation. So we are selecting these values, but there they have mentioned name should be research. So that is the condition you are applying on this result. So you have to write D name equal to research in the where clause. So if you are finding only for a specific department, like what is the maximum salary, then you can use that condition in the where clause. Okay, and then here one more example is given. Retrieve the total number of employees in the company and the number of employees in the research department. Now what is the total number of employees, like how you can find out? So you can find out using count function. Okay, if we write select count of star from employee, then it will give you the total number of rows present in employee relation. But the condition here is we need to count the number of employees in research department. I want to see how many employees are there in research department. For that we will write the condition. Okay, we need to write the condition in where clause. So where here we have used the regular join instead of writing the join operator in the from clause. We are writing the condition, joining condition in the where clause. Okay, so it will give you the number of employees, the count it will display, the number of employees in the research department. Now the next is count the number of distinct salary values in the database. You want to find out the distinct salaries. So at that time you can specify count of distinct salary. Only the distinct salary will be counted. Then when aggregate function we apply on any relation, that means we need to see that we are applying this aggregate function on the collection of values. That means which will have a collection of value, for example salary, or the number of employees in a department. Like that we are applying the aggregate function on the collection of values. Okay, in that case if you have a null value in that column, these nulls are removed from the collection before the calculation. For example, you have not specified the salary value for an employee, then that tuple will be ignored. Okay, that will not be counted, or when you are performing maximum, minimum, average or total, that is sum. In that case, if it finds null value in any of the row, so that will not be uh, taken into consider when it takes the aggregation. Okay, so that null will be removed from the collection before applying the aggregate function. Now if the collection becomes empty, okay, if there is no values or no data for that particular column or the collection of values, then it will return null value. For example, you want to find out what is the maximum salary for the research, for the maximum salary of the employee in research department. You imagine in research department there is no employees. Okay, in that case it will return null value. Now in case of count, okay, in case of count it will return 0 if there is an empty collection of values. Only the difference between this count function and the remaining aggregate function is if the collection of values are empty, collection of value is empty, then if you use count function it will return 0. The other aggregate functions such as sum, max, minimum, average will return null value. Now we'll see another example where we are using this aggregate function in the correlated nested queries. Here the query is you need to retrieve the names of employees who have 2 or more dependents. Okay, who have 2 or more dependents. What we have to fetch? We have to fetch the name of the employees. Okay, so we'll take L name and first name in the select clause, and from employee relation these attributes need to be fetched. So in the from clause we'll specify employee, and now what is the condition? They must have more than or at least 2 dependents, 2 or more dependents. So how to get these value, or how to check this condition? So we'll write select count from dependent where SSN equal to employee SSN. So this will give you for the number of dependents for each employee. Okay, because here we are mapping with SSN and employee SSN. Employee SSN is there in dependent table. So just we will take a join of these employee and dependent, and we'll find out what each employee is having how many dependents. Now if this count, so this query will give you the count, right? If this count is greater than or equal to 2, for such employees or for such tuples, you take L name and F name. From such tuples, you take L name and F name. Okay, so like this we can use the aggregate function in the correlated nested query. So when you use this function for the entire table, then it will give you the single value. Okay, it will return the single value, and that value you have to compare. Here what happens, for each employee tuple, it will execute this. It will check this condition. If it is true, or if this condition returns true, from that tuple you take first name and last name. Now the next is group by clause. We have seen aggregate functions, like how to use aggregate function in the select clause, or when you are using the correlated nested query, in that how we can write the aggregate function. Now the next is group by. Group by clause, it specifies the grouping attribute. As I said, you can apply these aggregate functions on groups instead of entire table. Okay, so in that case we need to use group by clause. Grouping attribute should also appear in the select clause. So when you are writing grouping function, when you use grouping function, then grouping clause, such attributes, which attribute must be included in your select clause. Okay, that means you are grouping according to that attribute, and you are performing some aggregation on that group. The value resulting from applying each aggregate function to a group of tuples appears along with the value of the grouping attributes. Say, for example, you want to find out for each department how many employees are there. In each department, how many employees are there. In that case, you can write the department number and count in the select clause. Okay, for example, in the first department number 1, we have 5 employees. In department number 2, we have 10 employees. So in that way, it will fetch the result. It will show, like under department number 1 and count 10, then 2, 5. So like that, it will show the values. Now for each department, here it is, you can see the example here. For each department, retrieve the department number, the number of employees in the department, and their average salary. Okay, so what we need to display the department number and how many employees are there, that means count, and then we need to get the average salary. Okay, average of salary from the employee relation. Now if I write only this, so actually it will take the it will perform the aggregation on the entire table. Okay, it will take like how many tuples are there in the table and what is the average salary in the entire table. But I need to get for each department. So that means we need to group according to the department number attribute. So that attribute you have to specify in the group by clause. Okay, you can see here in the group by we use department number. So in each department, how many employees are there and what is their average salary. Now the next is, for each project, retrieve the project number, the project name, and the number of employees who work on that project. Now for each project, that means we need to group according to the project. Okay, and what is the information we need to fetch, which attributes you have to put in the select clause? We need to put project number, then project name, and the number of employees. Number of employees means count function. Okay, and here project number and project name we want, right? Both the attributes we want. If I say only the project number, I can just use works on relation. But here project name also I need to display. So I'll take project and works on, then write the joining condition in where clause and group according to the attributes, project's attributes. Okay, here if you just write project number, then you will get an error, because whatever attribute you will put here, either it must be an aggregate function or it must be listed in your group by clause. Okay, that's why here we'll take both project number and project name. Then next is having clause. Now you have seen when we are applying some condition in the where clause, that condition is applied on the entire table. Okay, the tuples which are there in that table. So for the entire collection of tuples, that condition will be applied. Now SQL provides a having clause which can appear along with your group by. Now why we have to use having clause? Having provides a condition on the summary information. Okay, like you have grouped according to some attribute, you have grouped. If you want to apply condition on that group, then you have to use having clause. Okay, so having provides a condition on the summary information regarding the group of tuples associated with each value of the grouping attributes. If I say, okay, department 1 I have grouped and I want to check if the average salary is greater than some value. Okay, so that means I am applying the condition on the group. In that case, I'll use having clause. So only the groups that satisfy the condition are retrieved in the result of the query. Now we'll see the example like how we can use having clause. So for each project on which more than 2 employees work, retrieve the project number, project name and the number of employees who work on that project. Now first thing what they are asking, so just you identify what all the columns we need to include in the select clause. Retrieve the project number, so project number, the project name, okay, and the number of employees, so count. Okay, so now you say, okay, from which table I can get this? From project and works on. Okay, because I need to find out the number of employees who work on the project. Okay, so works on and project relation we have to include in the from clause. Then take the join of this using where clause, you put joining condition. Then for each project they have mentioned, so we'll take project number and project name in the group by clause. We will group according to project number and project name. And there is one more condition for each project on which more than 2 employees work. That means count must be greater than 2. Okay. Now here we are applying this condition on each group. See, first you have to group according to the project number or the project name, and then for each group you have to check the count, like how many employees are working on that. So that can be obtained by count function. And later you have to see that that count must be greater than 2. Okay, so here we are applying the condition on each group. That's why use having clause in this query. Having count of employees or the count star, it must be greater than 2. Now here are some more examples we can see. For each department that has more than 5 employees, retrieve the department number and the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. Okay, so first thing here is you have to see, okay, for each department that has more than 5 employees. Okay, we need to see how which department is having more than 5 employees, and then the number of its employees. Okay, you find out the number of employees in that department and who are making more than 40,000. That means their salary must be greater than 40,000. So if you see the first query here, we are selecting the department number and count, and we are checking this condition, salary greater than 40,000, and then we do the grouping. Now in this query what happens is, first usually the execution will take in this order. First it will execute the from clause. Okay, so it will take the employee relation and then it will apply the condition on the employee relation. So only those tuples will be there which satisfy this condition. Okay, and then you are finding, okay, well, then you are applying the grouping, whether this is the correct query according to this question. Here first I have to see which department is having more than 5 employees, and then I have to check in that department how many employees are making more than 40,000 salary. Okay, so if I do like this, if I write like this, then it will not give you the correct answer. Okay, first it will filter out the tuples where salary is less than 40,000. Okay, immediately it will it will remove the tuples where salary is less than 40,000. Then it will apply the grouping. Now you see the second one. Here we will take the condition, like in the where clause itself will write the salary is greater than 40,000 and department number in this result. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are selecting the department number from employee where the number of employees are more than 5. Okay, the count number of employees more than 5, where in such department you just check whether salary is greater than 40,000. So this information you have to put or you have to retrieve in this query. Okay, so it will give you the correct result. Now if you write only this much, then what happens? Since here you have used the count star, that's why that means aggregation you are using, as well as you have listed some of the attribute here. So that must be put in the group by clause. Okay, so this is the correct query, this is the correct answer for this question. Now there are two different constructs used in SQL, that is with and case. The with clause, it allows the user to define a table that will only be used in a particular query. It's like you're creating a view that will be used only in the query. See, once that query is executed, immediately with the execution of that query, the table will be discarded. Okay, it's like a temporary table, but it is used only within that query. Once that query terminates or once the query executes, after the execution of that query, the table it will not exist. Okay, the table will not exist. For example, here we are writing the big departments. Big departments means where number of employees are more than 5. So this is the temporary table and this big departments will be used in the query. Okay, so see here I am terminating this query after this statement. That means this is part of the entire query. So this big department will be used in the select statement. Okay, so first we'll create the big departments, and this is the temporary table which has only one attribute, department number, and which department number it will have? It will have the departments where the number of employees is more than 5, and then we'll select the department number and count from the employees, and in this big department we'll check whether how many employees are having salary more than 40,000. Okay, so here you can see department number in big departments. I'm checking, or I'm taking the department number from this big departments table. Only one attribute is there, right? So that's why we'll write department number in big departments. So in this temporary table will be used in the select statement of the entire query, and after the execution of this query, this will be discarded. Okay, but like usually this with construct is not supported in many of the SQL. Okay, you have to see whether it will work in your SQL, because most of the SQL will not support. Okay, then the next is case construct. So it is used, for example, you want to check some of the attribute values, and according to the values you need to set the attributes values. You have to update some attribute values, or you want to insert the tuples according to the different values of the attributes. Okay, then we'll use case construct. It is similar to your switch case in your programming language. So here this case construct, it is used when a value can be different based on certain conditions. Okay, so this can be used in any part of SQL query where a value is expected, including when querying, inserting and updating tuples. Now here you can see, based on the department number, we need to change, or we need to give the bonus to the employees. If they are from department number 5, then 2000 bonus we are giving to such employees, and if they are from department 4, then their salary will be increased by 1500. Then if they are from department 1, then it is increased by 3000. Otherwise there is no increment. Okay, so here you can see like we are updating the employee table, and the salary is updated according to these values. So you need to write case, then these are the keywords, when department number equal to 5. This is the condition. If this condition is true, then you need to change the salary. Okay, so salary will be updated by salary plus 2000. Then if when department number is 4, then increment by 1500. Okay, so in this way you can use the case construct. Okay, so these are the two additional topics in this. Now we'll see like what is the general structure of the query, the like select statement. So in the retrieval query in SQL, it can consist of up to 6 clauses. Actually, in your retrieval query or in your select query, you will have 6 clauses. But in this, select and from, these two are the mandatory clauses. So if you write any query, these two must be there, select, from. Okay, and whatever we have put in the square brackets, these are optional. Depending on the query, you have to use these 4 clauses. But it should appear in this order only: select, from, where, group by, having and order by. Now we'll see the query processing semantics, like how the execution of this query will take place inside the engine, storage engine. So first you need to construct a joint table of all the tables in the from list. So what it will do, how query will be processed. First it will see what all the tables or the relations you have mentioned in the from clause. If you have used the join, explicitly you have mentioned the join on some condition, then it will take the join table, otherwise it will take the Cartesian product. Okay, and then it will go to where clause. Suppose you have some conditions, then that based on that condition it will take the tuples. Now the next is it will go to select or group by. There it will check what all the attributes I need to keep in my result. So eliminate unwanted columns, keep the columns listed in select or group by. After this, sort the result by the columns in the group by and identify the like you have written D name or department number. So based on that, now you have to sort the columns. Then apply the predicates in the having clause. Suppose you have some condition on the group, then that will be executed. And then generate the answer row for the remaining group columns generated by applying aggregate functions. Okay, for each group you will apply some aggregate function. Based on condition you just generate the row and eliminate the duplicate if there is a distinct in the select clause. If you have a distinct keyword mentioned in the select clause, then remove the duplicate values. Okay, so this is the these are the different steps which are used in your query processing. So first it will go to from clause, it will take the join tables. If there is any condition specified in the where clause, so that condition will be applied, and so only the tuples which satisfies so tuples which satisfy this condition will be taken out from the join table, and then it will check the select clause or the group by, like which attribute or the column you want to retain in the result, and the other unwanted columns will be eliminated, and then sort according to the grouping attribute, make a group, and then if there is a condition on the group, like you have specified having clause, then that condition will be applied on the group and it will generate the row. Okay, a resulting row. And then if you have specified distinct attribute name, that means the duplicate will be eliminated from the result. Okay, so this is the sequence. Thank you.